Alberto Del Rio, WWE alum, a champion. Also Alberto El Patron. Big fight coming up. Saturday, December 7th. Combate Americas. But it's not pro wrestling, it's Combate Americas MMA, mixed martial arts. And you're fighting MMA style for the first time in many years. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to go against Tito Ortiz, this MMA legend. That's who I want in my match coming back. So what is it going to be like Saturday? Pay-per-view, first time Combate Americas MMA. Title versus title, Alberto El Patron versus Tito Ortiz.
Yes, amigo. I mean, you said it all. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be two athletes, two fighters going head-to-head, going at it inside the cage to give this promotion, Combate Americas, my home, the first pay-per-view in history. And just continue with my legacy, continue preaching with the example of a hard-working man, someone that wants to continue inspiring those Mexicanos, those Latinos out there to dream, continue dreaming, and then working hard for their dreams.
What's interesting about this, not only do you have a champion of professional wrestling in Lucha Libre, and you have a champion from mixed martial arts, but what you two decided to do was put your WWE title on the line versus his UFC title. Title versus title. Someone's walking out with both belts. Who came up with that idea?
Well, I have to give that one. I know Tito Ortiz is not a bright person. He's not bright at all. But I have to give him credit for this one. It was his idea. He was the one saying, okay, we're not going to be sanctioned by any organization, but we both know that behind those titles, there's hard work, there's blood, tears, and sweat. And that's it's on the line. Our legacy. That's the title is just the physical form of all those accomplishments, all that hard work, and that's why we're saying the winner takes it all. Takes your legacy, takes your sweat, tears, and blood for many years.
Do you have a spot in your house already set for both belts?
I do. I have my trophy room in San Antonio, Texas, and I have already picked the place where I'm gonna have Tito's title in San Antonio.
How did this match come about?
When a year ago, I finally said, amigo Campbell, to my boss and friend Campbell McAllen, I said, that's how you and I started our working relationship first, then friendship, amazing friendship. With you wanting me to fight for the organization, now is the moment to do it. And he said, are you sure? If you're sure, this is my dream to have you in the cage of Combate Americas. So if you're ready, I will start promoting this. And we did it. It was just a matter, after that day, it was just a matter of finding the right opponent. And that's when Tito Ortiz came to the scene. We heard that he was not under contract with any organization. And I said, I want to fight Tito Ortiz. That's the perfect fight for me. He's Mexican-American, just like me. He has different beliefs and different way of thinking, but he's a legend in the sport. He's somebody that is going to mean something for the MMA world, for the pro wrestling world. And by doing this, we're winning. We have already won in Combate Americas. Since the day we announced the fight. Now I have to just go there, put the cherry on top of that cake, winning in McAllen, Texas this Saturday.
It's been a while for you since you last fought MMA, and that's his sport. In pro wrestling, Lucha Libre, you've done so much and accomplished so much. Do you feel either one of you has an advantage? Because you could say that you haven't fought in a long time, but then you could also say he hasn't really seen you fight.
Yes. I think I will say that could be his only advantage. That I retired for so long that people could think that that's going to be a factor in the fight, but I don't feel that way. I train hard. I started training or went back to the MMA gym 8 months ago. Then even more 4 months ago, and completely focused. 2 months and a half ago, when I moved to Arizona and started training with Civi Dalloway, with Bader, with Javier Torres, and all of the people helping me in the training camp. I took this seriously as everything else in my life, And I went away from San Antonio, away from my children, away from my house, and I was just eating, training, sleeping, training, eating, sleeping every single day, 3 times a day. I'm completely ready. I feel ready. If the fight was tomorrow, I'll be ready to do it. I'm anxious, I'm happy, and I'm just looking forward for this Saturday.
And if you can talk a little more about where you went to train in Arizona with the group and with the people that are training there, working with you.
Yes, I mean, I always want to be thankful to these people, to these athletes. They started as my teammates. They became my friends, and now they're my family because they gave me their time, their knowledge. They decided to stay with me every single day to help me accomplish this mission. This is the thing, because this is Tito's sport, but nobody likes him. Like you talk to all the MMA fighters, all the MMA organizations.
Ken Shamrock, Chuck Liddell, you go down the line.
Nobody can stand them, and I have a lot of respect for Tito as an athlete, but I don't have anything else to say as a person. I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna go and kick him, punch him in the face, and take that victory home, and retire from the MMA happy. And after doing it all in both worlds, MMA, pro wrestling, going back and forth many times, but this is something I can tell you, and I'm 100% sure of this, regardless of what happened Saturday, even if I knock him out in 15 seconds, this will be my last MMA fight.
What made you decide you wanted to do MMA again?
Campbell McAllen is one of my best friends. I consider Campbell McAllen my father after my real father. Just like my dad, Campbell has been with me in the good ones, bad ones, worst ones, excellent ones. When I got divorced almost 3 years ago, I went through a really, really difficult time in my life, especially in that nightmare, the custody for my children. That battle was horrible. It took a lot from me, from my spirit, from my heart, from my mind, and I wasn't in the right place. I was not in the right place for some months, for some time. And Campbell was always there for me. This entire organization was always there for me, to support me, to fight this battle with me shoulder to shoulder, with me back to back, fighting this battle, and they didn't have to, but they decided to do it and stick with me, and I'm always going to be thankful. I'm always going to be grateful for that, and you pay loyalty with loyalty. Doing this gives the company the first pay-per-view, gives more sponsors, more investors, and we're going to be in the market, in the business for many years to come.
You know what's really interesting too? You wear so many hats. You do so many things. Because when you're watching Combate Americas MMA, there you are broadcasting. There you are in the ring with the victor raising the hand, or if the championship putting the belt on at the weigh-ins. You're there, involved with that. So many hats you wear. Has that always been you? You've always done a lot of different things?
Well, it's just, it happened just... I don't know if by destiny. I want to say by destiny, because I know I used to talk about destiny all the time in my pro wrestling days. But this is for real. Nobody. This is not scripted. Nobody wrote that for me like they did in pro wrestling. This is destiny. I started my working relationship with Campbell because he wanted me to fight for him in Combate Número Uno, and then that didn't happen. So I was an announcer for him in that event, and then. I became the face of the company, helped the company to promoting the company everywhere. Then I became the president of the company, then left for a while, come back and doing the announcing stuff, doing president stuff, doing absolutely anything this company needs from me. I'm willing to do it. They kept their promise of continue or of helping Latinos, Mexicanos since they don't number one, and it's been 6 years and we still have the main flavor of this company, Latino, and that makes me really happy. So whatever this company needs from me.
Obviously, you mentioned Campbell McAllen, and he's also was one of the pioneers to start UFC many years ago. How did you meet Campbell?
It was one of those when I left WWE, and he contacted me to invite me to one of his events. that's when we met. Then he said, hey, I have an interesting proposal for you. Can I go to San Antonio and meet you and talk to you? And I said, of course, come to my house. And he came to the Super Bowl party that I was having in my house. Of course, the only one watching the Super Bowl was Campbell and my neighbor Mike, because all of us, all my Mexican cousins and my family, we were in the backyard just having fun. But that's how we started our friendship and our working relationship, and well, the rest is history. Here we are after 6 years doing something fantastic, killing it, killing the competition. Our ratings are amazing. Everybody wants to know a little bit or more about Combate Americas, and when you have been part of this organization since day number one and you see those numbers, you feel completely happy.
Another thing, I think this is interesting too, because you said this is really, it's just you want to do this one fight. So you're going to go against Tito Ortiz. Was there thoughts before that though of let me fight someone else who isn't have the big reputation as Tito before fighting Tito, or that never entered your mind?
No, yes, I mean it crossed our mind. We talked about it, but then after talking to my family with Campbell and me putting everything on the table, I decided just to do this one fight. I'm not saying that I'm not doing it for the money, because I hate when people say that, because at the end of the day, if you don't get rewarded, you don't do it. So yes, of course the money was a factor, but it was not the main reason. My father, the legendary Dos Caras, he asked me if I was sure about doing one more fight. He said, son, you know you don't have nothing to prove to anybody. You have done it all. And I said, yes, Dad, I know I don't have to prove anything to anybody, but to myself. I have to prove to myself that after that horrible time in my life, I put everything behind, and I'm still that amazing athlete, that amazing father, that amazing hardworking man that one day decided to come to America and leave everything behind, his friends, his house, his comfort zone, and come to this country like any other people out there, like the gardener, like the carpenter, just with enough money to get by for a month. And I came to this country, I made my dreams come true, and I want to prove to myself that I'm still that man, hungry for success, and willing to continue leading with the example.
A nice example is, this is in McLaren, Texas, correct?
And McAllen.
McAllen, thank you, sorry,
yes.
McAllen, which is the border of
yes,
Mexico and Texas. So how important was that to you too, to be able to have that fight so close there on the border like that?
It's really important. We had the opportunity to have the fight in Los Angeles. That was like, we talked about it for like an hour and we said no, this is not good for us. We wanted to do it in Las Vegas, but the commission in Vegas is what a nightmare. So we decided not to go with the stress that would bring to the company if we would have done it in Vegas. And that's when McAllen, Texas raised their hand and said, hey, come here, we're going to help you with this, we're going to give you this, and we're going to give you that. And that's when we said, okay, McAllen it is. It's perfect for us because Tito is a Mexican-American, I'm a Mexican-American. We are fighting in a border town where we're going to have the people from Reynosa, Monterrey, Piedras Negras coming to the fight, the people from San Antonio, Laredo, Del Rio, Texas, and McAllen, of course.
That's awesome. And now Tito is a big-time pro wrestling fan and has been involved in wrestling with Impact Wrestling, so you're familiar with as well. Do you ever think there'll be cross paths with him? Have you ever crossed paths with him either in WWE when he was a fan or in Impact Wrestling? Have you ever talked to him when he was there or any of those things? Or no, you were never there, or he was never around when you were there?
No, I was never there when Tito was around. And I mean, I met Tito, I think 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
Oh, for the first time?
I just recently. We talked for like 3 minutes and that was it. Then we decided to start promoting this fight. And you know, this is just business. I respect him as an athlete. Like nothing but high regards about Tito when it comes to the sport, but as a person, I just, next question.
Well said. So, and in that next question, I know you said one MMA fight. really that's what I'm looking for, that's what I'm going to do. But would you ever consider having a wrestling match against him?
Yes, of course, because I think I'm gonna be doing pro wrestling for another 2 years. I know when I was going through those difficult moments, I said I was done with wrestling and I was ready to retire. You know, thank God I put those things, those moments behind, and pro wrestling has always been and will always be the love of my life. So I'm planning on staying around for another 2 years.
Whenever,
maybe.
You know what? Whenever.
It is, yes, whatever it is, and if somewhere down the line Tito is doing something with an organization and I'm there, why not? Of course. I mean, this is we are in the entertainment business, and if it's MMA, we will do MMA, and if we do pro wrestling, we'll do pro wrestling.
Because I think what's cool is Access TV, now you can see Combate Americas.
Yes.
And Impact Wrestling is now on Access TV as well, so you never know if there may be like a crossover or something pro wrestling wise between Combate and Impact or something on Access TV. There's so many possibilities that are there. What does it mean to you to have Combate Americas on Access TV?
Something fantastic, because now everybody can enjoy here in America what Combate Americas is all about. I'm not saying that in the past we didn't have non-Spanish speakers not enjoying Combate Americas, because we had those fans, but it's going to be 1,000 times better for them to be able to understand what they're seeing, and have people talking about the fights. We have Juliana Peña with us. Sometimes we have Gilbert Melendez. We have Max Brito, and they do a fantastic job when it comes to the English speaking broadcasting. And who knows, maybe in the future we will have Combate Americas in Chinese, in Portuguese. We are growing. We are the #1 show in Spain after football. We are the #1 sport in Latin America after football, soccer. So why not? You know, Combate Americas is going to continue growing, and nobody's going to stop us.
You mentioned Max Brito, because Max has worked for ESPN. He also will spend a little time with WWE as well. Yes. And I believe he's going to be doing the English version of on Access TV,
yes,
and all.
He's the one.
You're familiar with Max from your time in WWE or after or anything?
No, that was after. That was here in Combate Americas. That's when we started our friendship. He speaks Spanish. His family is from Cuba. So every time we see each other, we always spend good times. And to me, it makes me really happy to know that Max is going to be the voice when it comes to the English broadcasting.
We're going to wrap this up. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. Anyone from MMA or pro wrestling that'll be leading you to the ring for your big match December 7th against Tito Ortiz?
Well, I have a lot of people coming to this fight. Sin Cara has already confirmed, Chavo Guerrero. Rey Mysterio texted me like 3 days ago. He said he wants to come with his son. Of course, it's going to be an honor for me if we can have him. He asked me, and of course I said yes. I'm just waiting for him to send me his confirmation. And we just now, like before coming into this room for this interview, I got the text from the son of Mexico's president saying that he will be attending the fight on Saturday, which is fantastic. I also invited the president. Back then, two months ago, he said he will try to come. Unfortunately, he's too busy leading our country, Mexico, and he's not going to be able to make it. But his oldest son is going to be here. He's going to be there in McAllen.
I'm going off script a little bit because I always have my questions written down. But have you ever had any thought of trying politics?
I've had politicians and political parties coming to me and asking me to do it, but I don't know. I don't think that's for me. You know, especially in Mexico. I love my country with all my heart, but it's so corrupt and there's so many things to fix that I don't want to get involved in any of that. The people in my country respects me, and I want to say love me for one reason, and it's because they know I'm this is Alberto Del Rio Rodriguez, and I'm always the same one, regardless of whatever, being on TV, not being on TV, I always shake your hand. I always have a smile for you. And I think that if I ever do politics, that's going to change, and it's not going to be for a good reason.
And then getting back to the entrances, so we're probably not going to see Ken Shamrock or Chuck Liddell walking with you down to the ring?
I don't think so. I know Cain Velasquez is going to be there too. Cain Velasquez and Masvidal are going to be joining us there. Kate Del Castillo is
Dos Caros?
My dad is not going to be there because he hasn't been feeling well lately. And Texas is really cold in this time of year, so we're going to let him stay in Mexico City.
And Mil Mascaras? Mil Mascaras?
No, I haven't
all the ones I
heard.
You're talking an older fan here too, so I like, yes.
I haven't talked to my uncle in many months, so I don't think so. But I know we're going to have those friends, brothers, pro wrestlers, Cain Velasquez, Masvidal, and we have a big surprise for all the fans in McAllen. We have a new investor in Combate Americas. It's a huge star, like massive star from Hollywood, but I cannot reveal who it is right now because my boss will kill me. But you're gonna see him on December the 7th.
Mimo Montenegro. Yes. All right.
He's gonna be there.
I don't know more. I won't do any more. But yes.
He's flying to San Antonio tomorrow because I'm going back home tonight, and then we'll drive down, or they'll drive us down to McAllen on Wednesday night.
Entrance music, have you decided that yet?
Not yet. I was just so immersed in my training camp, and then my body was taking a toll, and I'm not in my 20s anymore, so.
You still look good though, Alberto.
Thank you, amigo. But when you're in your 20s, nothing hurts. Like you just go and do 20 rounds and you don't feel anything the next day. But this training camp was different. I had to do different stuff, train smart, and somewhere there I was feeling some pain in certain area of my body, and I was just because I didn't want to cancel this fight. I did all the things that I needed to do in order to feel completely ready. Thank God, everything went well, and I'm completely healed. I don't feel any pain, nothing, and I was able to close my training camp the right way, and that's why I was just like not paying attention to anything else.
Right, you were just focused on the training. But now that we're getting closer to, have you thought about, are you able to use your WWE entrance music, or is that something copyright or trademark with them, even if you wanted to use it?
I could use it for certain seconds. I think the law allows you to use it for 25 or 30 seconds, but I don't want to stay away from it,
You're past that.
Yes. There was a time when I went to war against them, and because I wasn't happy. But today, now, I feel completely different. I could have done things differently. They could have done things differently. We shook hands, we buried the hatches, and now we're just moving forward. I'm Alberto Del Rio is my real name. When I became a citizen this year in May 25th, and that's my real name, Jose Alberto Del Rio Rodriguez. That's why I continue using Alberto Del Rio. They say they own the rights, but they cannot own the rights of my real name. But again, I just want peace in my life. I'm feeling happy. I'm with everything I'm doing, and I want things to remain that way.
When you come out for the event, have you thought yet too about ring gear? And even the colors you might wear. You're Mexican American, or that's what you're gonna do.
I'm gonna wear the Mexican colors, the Mexican flag colors. I'm not adding any design, just plain green, white, and red. And same for my gloves. Again, I'm just I've been so focused in training because I retired for so long that I every month, week, day was counting. I felt like I was running out of time, and I needed to start feeling better, which I do now. I closed the training camp last Friday in an amazing way. I'm just anxious. I'm ready. I want to fight, and none of Tito's mental games have worked and won't work. I'm ready, and everybody's going to be enjoying an amazing fight on Saturday.
what do you think about the crossover? And we're just about done, but what do you think of the crossover of MMA and pro wrestlers? Because look, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Jake Hager, Jack Swagger,
Yes.
right? Ronda Rousey, Ken Shamrock back in the day, Dan the Beast Severn was an older wrestler and one of the ones first crossovers. But what do you think of how successful it's been back and forth? Not just one or the other, but pro wrestlers going to MMA, MMA going to pro wrestlers. Cain Velasquez, you mentioned. So
Yeah, it's been out there for a while. This is the thing. Like, most of the people, they don't know that this started 15 years ago with Sakuragawa, with Coleman, with Kevin Randleman, Bas Rutten, and all of those guys doing pro wrestling and MMA. It's just it was back in the days when UFC was not what it is today. Pride was the #1 company, and all of those guys were doing pro wrestling MMA all the time, and Fujita and many others, right? Sam Greco, me, Alberto Del Rio was one of them. Even before Lesnar, I was doing MMA and pro wrestling in Japan. It's just now that the UFC is what it is today, and WWE continues to be what it has always been. And now everybody's talking about it. But I think it's good. It's good for both sports. I know a lot of people always criticize CM Punk so much, but I think he did a great job. It's not like he didn't take this seriously. He was training hard, and he went straight to the major leagues. He didn't take any easy fights, any easy roads. He went straight to the big leagues. And for me, he did a good job. The first fight wasn't what he wanted. The second one, he was there, stood there. The decision went to the other side. But I'm always gonna give a big round of applause to my friend CM Punk, and not just because he's my friend, just because he tried it
and improved from that first fight to the second fight too. Sexy Star, Dolce Garcia.
Yes.
Also big. AAA.
Lucha
So many groups, thank you. Lucha Underground.
Boxing, professional boxer.
Yes, boxer, pro wrestler, MMA. She's also going to be on this card as well.
She's also going to be fighting. This is going to be her second fight with Combate Americas. She was training for 3 weeks in Arizona. She closed her training camp in Arizona with me and went back to Monterrey to see her daughter. And I will be seeing her this Wednesday in McAllen, Texas. She's ready.
How tough is she? I mean, she does all three sports.
She's tough. I don't know if she is the only one doing something like that, being in major organizations in boxing, pro wrestling, and MMA. Maybe there's others, but I'm not so sure about it. But we're all gonna be fine. We're gonna be giving to our fans an amazing event.
All right, last question for you, and I always got to get to the toughest question at the end, Alberto. So here I'm after all this time, but I got to throw it in there. Will Ricardo Rodriguez be introducing you?
That's the thing. I want to have my good friend Ricardo Rodriguez. That will be something fantastic for everybody, including me, of course. I know he's been busy. He's helping his family in the family business, and also taking some bookings here and there. But he decided to put pro wrestling on the side for a while and focusing on other stuff. I talked to him already. He said yes. I'm just waiting for his confirmation, and if he does, it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, that's going to be so great. So, Alberto, thank you so much. Tito Ortiz, Alberto El Patron, Alberto Del Rio, belt versus belt, title versus title, WWE title, UFC title, Saturday, December 7th, Combate America's first MMA pay-per-view. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. See you this Saturday.